Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the TLR-1 HL by Streamlight. Stand by. Now what is a TLR-1 HL? It is for a home defense firearm to help illuminate what you want to see inside your house or outside your house to make sure that you could make a correct target identification. So I have several flashlights on my handguns, one on a shotgun, and I have handhelds all over the house. I had the TLR-1 when it first came out. Then I did an upgrade on all my weapon lights over the past 2 years. And the ones that I chose for the most part were Streamlight products. They're affordable, they're durable, and they're proven. So that's why I went with these models. So let's go over the features of it and tell you why it's probably something you should have for your house. So let's go over some stats from their website. So it's a 1000 lumen LED tactical handgun light or weapon light. They come standard with a Glock insert, so it goes in interfaces with your Glock rail. Also, they have different rails, the inserts that could interface with different rails like the 1913. So it's pretty universal. I've used them on a shotgun, used them on my Glocks, and I've used them on several other handguns. These versions are fitted with a screw down type attachment style, which I actually prefer. I have another brand that has the quick release. I don't see a point in a quick release. This one, you could adjust the tension to where it fits snugly on your handgun or on your Picatinny rail, whatever it is. And it stays put. I haven't had any issues with them falling off. So I do prefer this method. On the webpage, it says 1.5 hour runtime, 20,000 candela, and optimistically a 283 meter beam distance. Now there's other channels that have done reviews on these outside for beam distance. For me, this is going to be used within the comfort of my home, garage, and immediate area right outside the house. So this uses two CR123A batteries, and they're readily available now. They used to, when I first started doing this, they weren't that available, but you could order them anywhere, order them on Amazon. They last a long time, have spares available, and just change out the lights when you need to change out the lights. I usually do it once a year, just if I haven't used a weapon light for a long time, I'll just go through and I'll replace them. So easily replaceable batteries. I don't use the rechargeable ones. I use the standard, just use them and toss them type batteries. I find that's a little more easier as far as management goes. Some other features that we have a toggle switch on the back. This one still has a strobe. You could program these out, by the way. And I find this to be pretty easy. I know a lot of people like the other brand, other popular brand, because it's a little bit stiffer of a toggle or a push button. These are fine. People, if you're worried about accidental discharges, I'm sure that you could do something to make sure that this doesn't happen when you're using the weapon light. But I do prefer this because I'll show you later when it's on the handgun. Come up there, flick it, stays on, or you could do a temporary mode. This light is compact, somewhat lightweight, doesn't take up too much in rail space on your handguns, and fits multiple of holsters. I use Safariland, so these seem to interface pretty well with the Safariland with the many different Glocks that I have. I prefer this light obviously because it's very durable, it's proven, but also because of the cost. It's about half the price of a competitor that's out there. So this makes it very attractive to get 2 or 3 of these compared to the price of one of the other brands that are out there. I don't go into certain brands that get pumped on YouTube all the time that people get paid to promote. I don't get paid to promote this. This is something that I chose to spend my money on and has worked well for me and has been very reliable. Operation, once you have the batteries in, is as easy as temporary, constant. And you saw a strobe earlier. And the way that you activate that, if you want to do it, you press down on this twice. There it is. And there you go. You know, I don't necessarily think a strobe is a good idea or a bad idea. I just think it's a useless feature on this. I'd rather have a constant on, constant off, or a temporary, activation where I could activate it like that. You see how bright it is even on the camera. Okay, let's take a look at that beam projection. This is on temporary. Let's move the chair out of the way. So that's a good center. You put it on a white wall, it lights up pretty good. There's that annoying strobe. What are some drawbacks of this light? You know, other than people not liking it because it's not another brand that's used by whoever's using it, I don't really think there are too many drawbacks. It's a tiny bit bulkier than the other competitive brand, but like I said, it's half the price. I mean, if you're like me, you're going to have this sitting on a firearm, you're going to take it to the range, you're going to practice with it, you're going to use it. You're not going to be running around with this in a holster all the time. It's probably going to be a home defense gun like most everyone else. And what's it going to do? It's going to sit in your safe, wherever you keep your home defense gun, and you're going to use it 4 or 5 times a year, maybe. I train with mine a little more frequently, like once a month, but I think that's reasonable for someone that's either working or has a life outside of firearms, but you want something reliable for home defense. So I can't really think of any big negatives other than it's a little bit bigger than a competitor. And you know, you just need to train with it. You need to utilize it, change the batteries. Battery life, I mean, 1.5 hours is fine for me. I'll just switch the batteries. Overall, I think it's a good buy. It's something that you could easily invest into without spending a lot of money. And it's pretty effective on the handguns that I've used it on. And like I said, even a shotgun. I like the TLR ones. The HL is the latest version. Well, one of the later versions. They have another version that came out that has a front hinge to it, which I think is pretty cool. But no need to upgrade the versions that you have right now, unless you want a brighter beam, and that's why I went with the HL. I'd buy another one if I needed another weapon light. Now, I have different brands, which I might go over here in a little bit, but as far as cost, effectiveness, weight, availability, and mounting options, I don't think you could beat it. If you enjoyed this content, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share if you need to, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks.